We've joined Doug Cooper, an instructor at our National Outdoor Centre Glenmore Lodge on Scotland's north-east coast. This isn't the best known destination for sea kayakers, but it's one of Doug's favourites.
We're loading at Port Knocky Harbour here, which is on the east coast, and we've got the Moray Firth out there. And we're here because the weather's always fantastic on the east coast. It's an amazing bit of coastline, and many people generally go and sea paddling across the west coast and around the islands, which sure is world class. But on the east coast, which is kind of a local coastline, there's lots of absolute hidden gems. And those hidden gems can involve the beaches, the beautiful kind of local kind of harbours, which have fantastic amount of history with the fishing industry of the past. We've got the Moray Firth dolphins out there who live and reside kind of on the east coast and a lot in the Moray Firth, so hopefully we may see some dolphins. And just around the corner, the cliff architecture is kind of second to none. So why do I like sea kayaking? It's definitely the variety. It's just like fantastic. I can go out for a day with a group of friends for a social mellow paddle. I can go out and see kind of a whole variety of wildlife. And you can choose to push your limits as much as you feel comfortable. So you can be dodging around the rocks, playing in the tide races, the surf, or looking for flat calm conditions. And you see the coastline from an angle which you can only really see and explore from a sea kayak. It's just an amazing playground, like all within like 2K this section, isn't it? As good as it gets. Come across here pretty regularly for myself, it's great, but if I get a chance I'll bring groups out here, because for a kind of 2 or 3K's worth of paddling it's like absolutely stunning, and there's loads people can learn and enjoy. It's brilliant. In some ways you feel very exposed to the environment because you are sat on a moving body of water. You're in amongst kind of rocks, you're around and about wildlife, so you're very much living as part of the environment and moving as part of it, and it demands a huge amount of respect. But kind of from that respect, you see the coastline from that unique perspective, from a height where you're very much in amongst it and part of it. So the great thing about paddling along these bits of coastline is the rock hopping potential. And what we've kind of got coming up here is kind of a gap between a bit of rocks. We've got some swell coming through. We've got a bit of an easterly swell running today. So there's a lot of sport to be had, dodging the rocks and timing it well with the swell. One of the key things is just patience and just standing off a little bit, watching what the swell's doing, because timing is the art to good rock hopping, so that you time to go when the swell's appropriate as opposed to when the swell could kind of cause you a little bit of hassle. The sea is potentially an incredibly unforgiving environment, so anybody venturing out on it definitely needs to be aware of the safety considerations and get the appropriate training and learn what's required. With that knowledge and choosing the right days and knowing the weather and the tides, then you've got a limitless playground which you can bite as much as a little challenge as you wish. This is Bow Fiddle Rock, quite a unique kind of bit of rock architecture, as you can see, and a complete hidden gem. It's fantastic, eh? Fantastic. When you land, you can enjoy the landing kind of area and have your picnic, your packed lunch is great, and to having your sandwich, taking in the environment a little bit more is brilliant. Lots of the coves along here, then the only way you can land in it is by a craft like a sea kayak, so you'll always feel as if you're the first person perhaps ever there, because the sea will wash away the footsteps and you're arriving there as if it was for the first time, but certainly not many people have been there before. Load your boat and then you're self-contained, and whether it's a single day or multi-day, you're self-contained, you're your own boss, and your life revolves around the weather and the environment, the friends you're with, and the food and the drink you've got. And the simplicity of that is fantastic. Having been lucky enough to paddle all over the world, I consistently come back to Scotland and think, you don't get much better than this for what it offers.
To find out more about what's on offer at our National Outdoor Centre, Glenmore Lodge, and to keep up to date with the Adventure Show, follow us on Facebook.